threshold nuclear power is to win the battle and lose the war.
A message to world leaders from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu this week, with the deadline for reaching a nuclear agreement with Iran now less than 2 months away. The warning comes amid reports that President Obama is considering a deal that would ease economic sanctions while allowing Tehran to keep a large part of its nuclear program intact. Wall Street Journal Foreign Affairs columnist Bret Stephens joins us with more. So, Bret, how close is the administration to cutting a deal?
Well, the administration will cut almost any deal that the Iranians will accept.
Are they close?
Not as close as they think, because they're negotiating with Rouhani and his foreign minister, Mr. Zarif, who do a pretty good job of seeming reasonable and moderate. But the decision maker in Iran is the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, and he has made some extremely hardline statements that seem to me to put a deal out of reach.
Well, but if the deal that we've seen is going to allow them to continue to enrich uranium, if it is going to allow them to continue to seek to have centrifuges that do enrich uranium under supervision, some kind of inspector regime, if it doesn't include anything on ballistic missiles, and it doesn't deal with the Iranian efforts on weaponization in the past, why wouldn't Khamenei take that deal?
Well, it would be wise for the Iranians to take that deal because it would allow them to lift sanctions. But Khamenei has called for not simply maintaining their enrichment program in place, but multiplying it by 10. Khamenei has called for the mass production of ballistic missiles, not simply maintaining a program. And Khamenei's calculation is he has never really been made to pay a price by this administration, not even the sanctions. And he also thinks that he has a 2-year window of opportunity where he's going to have an American president who's certainly going to take no serious further action, and this is his breakout window.
But he doesn't need to break out. Why not go to the cusp, right up to the edge, if those are the terms and that I described before are the real terms of the deal? He can go right up to the cusp of having a weapon. He doesn't have to actually risk world anger by exploding one. Meanwhile, he gets rid of economic sanctions. The Europeans will start pouring cash in there because they're dying to do it anyway. Why not take that deal?
Because the lesson that we've had from breakout nuclear powers, not just North Korea, but India and Pakistan, is that ultimately the world cannot contain a nuclear state, and so it learns to live with it on that state's terms. In 1998, the Pakistanis and Indians tested nuclear weapons. There were sanctions. They lasted about 4 or 5 years, and that was it.
Dan?
Well, the technology that Iran is using, they have imported from North Korea. We had an agreement in 1994 with North Korea not to do what we don't want Iran to do, and North Korea has violated that repeatedly, even conducting an underground test early in 2013. So there is no way to verify or to enforce any agreement that Barack Obama signs with the Iranians. And the result, agreement or no agreement, in this November is that they will move forward to the point that we have been describing.
And an important point that's worth mentioning is the International Atomic Energy Agency continues to find that Iran is playing games with the UN inspectors, particularly when it comes to the weaponization aspect, the military dimensions of their program. So Barack Obama is going to try to sign a deal in which, for instance, one of the ideas on the table is that they will disconnect some of the pipes that connect the centrifuges that allow them to enrich uranium. To imagine that the Iranians won't cheat on that deal is extraordinary.
Well, then what will its reaction be to this kind of a deal? I don't think they can accept it.
No, I don't think the Israelis can accept it, but or want to accept it. But look, the experience we've had with the Israelis is their talk has been pretty tough. But a lot of people have been thinking the Israelis are bound to strike, and I've been one of them for the past few years, and they haven't. And that may be because there's an Israeli calculation that a strike on Iran is at the outer limit of their military capability.
What would be the reaction domestically in the U.S. to that kind of a deal? Because I don't think, one thing our viewers should understand is that the Congress would not get the right to approve this. This would not be submitted as a treaty. This would just be something that the president signed and would therefore be U.S. policy.
I think it would add to the anxiety that the American people feel because they have been the details that we've been talking about have been described to them. The first thing that will be reported is the Saudis will seek a weapon. I think it will be a net negative for the administration.
Okay, Dan, thank you. Well, we'll be watching.